Hi, welcome to the Sapphire Death Tarot. As we always say, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I've been sitting with these cards for a while now, and it feels like a cycle that someone has been repeating over and over and over again. I don't know if it's internal or external, but it seems like it's a pattern that really needs to be broken as quickly as possible. It's something that's really not serving your higher self, your higher good. It's not serving you as a person, your loved ones, maybe. I have a feeling this is going to be a difficult one to get out. It's a little heavy. The card I'm going to start with is the Shapeshifter. First thing that I'm really noticing is the snakeskin pattern all throughout the card. And the coloring. It's very much root, sacral, solar plexus based. We're talking about not just your passions for life, but if you can't get past the primal I need to survive layer, then you can't proceed to actually finding out what lights that spark inside of you. It seems like the person or people I'm reading for are very much stuck in a fight or flight mode, and they are not really sure how to proceed. Based on the cards here, I'm willing to bet it's definitely not in the same way that it has been before. Externally, this can be someone very shapeshifty, someone very manipulative, someone domineering, controlling, who just has to know everything you're doing at any moment of the day. They have some sort of a hold on you. Internally, there's still that hold on you, but the energy is a little bit different because you're doing this to yourself. If this is some sort of an internal battle, it's most likely that you're not being honest with yourself about something, and you might think that you are. Oftentimes, we think we're being absolutely honest with ourselves when in reality, we might just really want something. We might just really want something to work out, and the universe has other plans. It's not until we go through all the trial and error and finding out that that's not the path that we're going to take that we actually do figure that out. For someone struggling with this kind of energy where you're constantly doubting yourself, you kind of just automatically self-sabotage everything you do without even realizing it. If you just lack confidence in general, you feel like you have to put on a mask to hide yourself, then I would actually offer this piece of psychological advice. If you take your problems and you externalize them into kind of like a caricature of that problem, they become a lot easier to deal with. I do this myself. One of the characters I use is Randy the Rage Bot. I have a hard time holding back making fun of Randy the Rage Bot every time I say that name. So if you're named Randy, I apologize. Sorry. But you might be putting on a mask to please people, and the only person you really need to please in life is yourself. Well, I take that back. You want to please other people. This is getting a little sexual. You, you want to be able to please yourself, to be able to please the collective. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, getting back onto this, you might be someone who's felt very trapped, like you've had to wear a mask to protect yourself from potentially externally a domineering figure in your life, but it could be to shield yourself from your own discomfort of being in your own skin, leading me back to the snake skin in the card. It could be that you really just don't know who you are, and until you kind of take that swim in Lake U, you're never really going to find that out. Another thing I'm getting from this card in an internal context is you see up here we have the third eye that's completely void. It could be that, and actually there's an eye below it, so they seem to be separated from each other. It could be that living in this survival mode has really disconnected you from any real version of your higher self, and it's not until you kind of slide that eye back into alignment that you'll be able to move on from this stage. The second card I'm going to be reading in this is the Judge. The first thing that pops out is this very predatory looking eye. I don't know if the camera will pick up all the yellow around it, bringing back to that kind of solar plexus energy, but hitting me in a completely different way than before. It's kind of like a heat. Not like a fiery passion, but anger, I think, would be a good description of it. You also see two sets of hands. You see a set that's kind of asking for compassion or offering compassion. And then you have another set that's kind of praying. Down here we have a skull, which is not a very good sign if you're being judged. It's surrounded by what looks very much like prison bars. It feels like if this is an external type of thing, you're stuck in some sort of a relationship where, well, you do feel stuck. It feels like kind of like you're in a prison, and that you're always being watched, you're always being judged for something, every little slight. No matter how much compassion you offer or ask or pray for, it's never met with anything but this shapeshiftery energy. If this is you and you need help, if this is a violent situation, please get out. I will put a number on the bottom of the screen. Internally, this could very easily be you judging yourself, you being too harsh on yourself. With all these self-doubts and everything, maybe you seek external validation. A lot of the times, sorry, mouth. A lot of the times to help fill that crushing void that maybe you're not good enough, maybe you're not worthy. But all of that actually comes from the inside. And we as humans complicate things a lot. The things that we feel about ourselves are projected outside to everybody, to the entire collective of humanity, or matter in general, since we're all made up of a bunch of particles, and we're all connected to a bunch of other particles. So this is the energy that you're putting out into the world, and The only way that it's going to change is if you take the first steps to allow that change to happen. You have to start reprogramming the way that you think about yourself. I mentioned in a previous video a neurological trick that you can do. It takes about 30 days to rewire your brain, but anytime that you start to speak negatively about yourself or your situation, or you allow the negative emotions, the like rain clouds and everything, to cloud your judgment, if you take a second to stop yourself and either say like cancel, delete, I revoke this, let me start over, something like that, it actually helps to rewire your brain into just automatically doing this later, and you will see huge improvements in your life if you just take like maybe the 90 days, the 3 months to do the rewiring process. It's very beneficial. I highly recommend. Two thumbs up. Anyway, this judgment, either external or internal, is leading you to silence yourself, to keep yourself from speaking your mind, from being your own authentic human person, your own authentic meat sack. If you notice, these lips are coming out of a void, and they clutch a diamond in between them. You have a lot to say. You have a lot to offer the world. You just need to get yourself out of that void and teach yourself to not be so hard on yourself, or not to let other people's judgments of you affect you so much that you keep quiet, that you decide, well, I guess I don't have any worth to the world. I won't do anything at all. I'll say nothing. I'll just do what this person tells me to do because apparently they know what they're doing. And I really want to tell you that that is not true. I don't know if you need to hear that or not. Maybe someone does, but you have worth, and please speak your mind. The last card I'm reading in this set is the Mountain. And I feel like this is where everything can change for you if you allow that to happen. We have the darkness below, the forest. You can't see where you're going. It's just pitch black. That's bringing me back to the void that the lips are coming out of, or are trying to come out of. And then you have this mountain range right here. This card has actually come out in several of my readings so far, which is weird. I feel like a lot of people might be in this energy right now, or are maybe just getting out of it. So perhaps this is important to the collective as a whole. But regardless of if it's an internal or external issue that you're battling, you have to take a break. This little guy is kind of inside, crouched in a reprieve in the mountain. He's chilling out, just waiting for the rest of the ascent, which it seems like he's almost there, but the higher you climb, the harder it gets. It's filled with a lot of that yellow and orange solar plexus and sacral, respectively, energies. It's really hitting me a lot different than it did in this card, though, the Judge. This card, it feels more like it's of a healing variety, a healing energy. Definitely the type of energy where you would want to take a break and reassess things, be alone for a little bit. Kind of hermit yourself off from the rest of the world so that you can get when I'm seeing like a bird's eye view of the situation. And that also brings me back to the back of these cards, all the different ways that you can perceive your own situation, whatever that situation may be. Even though you might be coming up against a bunch of obstacles and stuff, don't let yourself fall back into all of these different energies. Allow yourself to take a break. Take that different perspective, that different view of things. Maybe try out some different techniques. If you don't like mine, that's totally fine. I'm not offended. There are a bunch of different things that you can try to help yourself get out of all of these different situations. But after that break, the ascent is not, there's not much left. And then you get to all of this green, blue, and purple, very much the heart, the throat. So being able to speak your mind, being able to really feel the love for yourself instead of the judgments with the green in the heart space, and really maybe even getting in touch with that third eye that actually right now in this card is missing. Maybe it's detached for a reason at the moment, and maybe that's part of your journey, is to unlock that. To open up that eye that wasn't there before, that allows you to see things maybe much differently than you did before. Have a complete perception shift. I'm going to pull a couple of shadow work cards. And I know that people are very afraid of the idea of shadow work. It's not a scary word. It just means going within to see what we can change about ourselves so that we can change it in our external reality as well. These cards are very hard to shuffle, so... Okay, so I'm going to read this one first. We have cycles and patterns. Since I did start out this reading by talking about how this felt like a giant cycle that just kept repeating over and over and over again, I feel like this is probably the card that might be the impetus to that change. Maybe it's the wake-up call. Hopefully, anyway, if this is your situation. Return to the origin, transform the effect. So once again, even if this is an external situation, a lot of the times, if we just go inside of ourselves, we can change our own circumstances just by changing little things about us. Bringing us to our next card, reflection. So, like I said with the bird's eye view, it's good to reflect upon the situation to see why these cycles keep happening, why it's so hard to get out of it. Examine your thoughts and feelings is what it says on the card. I am really noticing the imagery on this card. Of course, it is definitely supposed to be indicative of a reflection, given that it's called reflection. But you can see here it's not a perfect reflection. This part down here I'm very much seeing as a past version of you, if you want it to be, if you choose this timeline to get out of these cycles, and if you choose to get out of this, then this is what awaits you. It's a higher way of living, a higher way of thinking and being and seeing the world, which is definitely going to help you in the future. It will help you spot these same awful shape-shiftery patterns in the future. And then the last card we have is the World's Shadow. Veiled desires are reawakening. I feel like this is meant to be the ending card for this session, just because once you do get out of all of these patterns, this loop of once you do get out of that, you're going to be able to see the things that you want more clearly. It could be that you're living your life for another person right now. You're letting them live vicariously through you. You're letting them control your behavior. If this is an external situation, maybe you're doing that to yourself internally. But it's not until we go through all of this work and we really take this time in the mountain to get our heads straight and to really reflect on the situation that we're going to be able to know what those desires are, what our true passions are in life. So I think that's a nice little card right there. I hope this helps someone. If it does, please boop that like button and subscribe, of course. Bye.